Hello, Barry William Magadity, and I'm joined by Miranda Hill. This is the Tradie Business School podcast where we help you to grow a trades and general contractors business more profitably, more passionately, and ultimately so it can work without you. Miranda, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Excellent. And what we're sharing today is something that I really enjoy talking about, and that is around this notion that simplicity scales and complexity fails. What I want to open up is with a conversation that someone once had with the amazing creator of the statue called the David, Michelangelo. So for those of you that don't know, there's a statue in one of the museums in Rome called the David, and it's this exquisite statue of this man kind of doing this thing completely carved out of a solid bit of granite. Now, one day the story goes, Michelangelo's been interviewed and they're like, mate, well, they probably didn't say mate. That's my interpretation. They're like, mate, how did you carve such an exquisite statue of the David out of a solid piece of marble? And he looked at this person and he's like, it was easy. All I did was carve away everything that wasn't the David. Now, when I heard this, I was like, holy shit. What if instead of adding more to my life, more goals, more to-dos, more systems, more processes, more complexity, what if I ran this lens over everything I was doing and asking, is this my David, right? If I'm clear of what my vision is for my life, what if I started running the lens over, does this look like my vision? And this is where a huge transition happened in my business journey, Miranda, and for many of our clients as well, because what I realized at that point in time, and many others have as well, is that a lot of what they're doing in their business is not moving them closer to where they want to go. It's just creating more complexity, more restriction, more constipation, right? And preventing the flow of growing a great business. If you have this goal of creating a lifestyle business where you're paying yourself a couple $100,000 a year and you're there to drop your kids off in the morning, pick them up, how is working 18 hours a day moving you towards that goal? How is taking on board those problem clients? How is hiring more staff? For a long time, the notion, the marketplace around hustle was, oh, let's grow these big businesses. And I remember when I was taking the game plan clients for Tradie Business School, I was like, is that what you really want? Like, do you really want a $10 million company with a $2 million net margin and 50 employees? Or do you want a $3 million company with $1 million net margin and 15 employees? Like, what do you really want and why do you want it?
So, love this conversation. Having seen the statue of David, absolutely amazing. And it's quite striking, really, the simplicity of it all. So, stripping away everything that isn't David, stripping away everything that is not your vision, that is not your goal, that is not aligned with you and not what you want. There is a trap, the comparison trap, where we look at where we are and where everyone else is, and we believe that what we should want and what we want is what success looks like to others. And, so many end up feeling quite unfulfilled and lost because they're either living somebody else's dream or going for somebody else's goal. And what they end up doing is adding complexity. And it is like, oh, well, I've got to grow my business. And I meet clients all the time. Well, what's you got? Oh, I grow my business. I want this much revenue. So, okay. So what does grow look like? Oh, well, it means this. I've got to hire all these people. Well, why do you need to hire all these people? And so, the hiring one person increases the load on you and your business and management exponentially. It is not just a times one factor. All the moving parts grow. There's a lot more for you to handle and do that take you away potentially from what it is. It's the clients that say yes to the business owner that says yes to every single client because they're thinking of revenue. So they add more complexity. So it's such a powerful takeaway to focus on less and less being more and the simplicity of the decisions that you make.
Yeah. This never came through for me, Miranda, earlier in business, and when I was under a couple $1 million a year. It was when my first company got over a few $1 million a year that I just noticed we kept on hitting this glass ceiling, and it seemed like the problems that we were having were compounding and multiplying. And I just couldn't understand why we had plenty of business coming through, but we just couldn't seem to run it through quick enough. And what happened is I realized that there was just too much complexity in the company. And I've seen that in a lot of companies that I advise now, or that I've got shareholdings in. It's like the more that you can remove the resistance and simplify things, the faster businesses will grow. And this is where having, vision, mission, and values come in place if you haven't necessarily got all your systems and processes, because it allows a very simplistic approach for your team to make decisions. So, if you're somebody right now, whether you're a one-man band or whether you've got 50 staff, but you're noticing that things are taking longer than you think that they should, right? Or you're noticing that you're not achieving your goals month after month, if you're noticing you're not very profitable, if you're noticing you're working huge amounts of hours, I would say that no doubt you have too much complexity. And to be honest, as a general rule of thumb, I think every business owner I've met has got too much complexity in one area or another in their business. So what if you started to ask yourself two questions? Number one is is this simple? And is this scalable? When you look at something, when you look at your goal, when you look at your to-do list, when you look at what you're trying to achieve, ask yourself, is this simple? And is this scalable? Or if you ask yourself the question, is this helping me carve away everything that's not my David, right? But in order for us to do that, we first must understand what is the David, right? If you have this vision or dream to, as I said before, have more time with your family and pay yourself a decent drawings from your company, yet your partner's always complaining that you're at work all the time, or your kids are complaining they're not spending enough time with you, you got to ask yourself the question, are you actually on the path to achieve what you set out to? Because that whole line of I just need to, or once I, right? That's a huge red flag, because I'm telling you from my experience, that notion, that belief of I just need to hire a couple more staff, I just need to take on a few more clients. What's actually happening is the foundation you're building is not a foundation to achieve what you want, right? If you're growing your company properly and profitably now, as you grow, things should start to get simpler. Things should start to get more profitable. But if you're noticing that as you're growing, you're getting more problems and less profitable, I'm telling you right now, you're growing with the wrong fundamentals in place, with the wrong foundation in place. And the destination is not a beautiful one, right? You need to fix your foundations now. You need to simplify things now, which will allow you to grow faster, simpler, more profitably. It doesn't mean there's not complications. It doesn't mean there's not complexity. It doesn't mean there's not problems, right? But there's a lot less than what I see a typical business owner has when they get to that 2 million, 3 million, 10 million without having the fundamentals in place.
Yeah. I think the combination of those two questions, is it simple and is it scalable, is really important. Is worth mentioning again, because if you come up with something that is simple, yet if you times it by 10 or 20 or 50 happening in your business on a scale, what would that look like? We can sometimes do simple things that, even those you think, hang on, but if everybody did this in the business, not a good outcome. So you really got to look at, is it simple and is it scalable? Is this the simplest way I can achieve the goal? If you've got a 20 email sequence and you could achieve the same in 5 emails, and send 5 emails. If you've got huge complexity in your invoicing system, or you've got, 75 products and you could be profitable off having 15, yes, really start questioning what's the best return on investment for my time, for my people, for, any decision I'm making in my business, any investment.
Yeah, Miranda, you just brought up such a really important point there. I remember when I was working with a mentor many, many years ago, and he's like, Barry, all you need is one product, one offer, one funnel, and one traffic source to get to $1 million. And at that point in time, I had multiple products, multiple funnels, multiple offers, multiple traffic sources, and I wasn't at $1 million. And it was the moment that I started cutting everything away, and I just got super focused on that we did our first $1 million, and then we did it again, and did it again, and we replicated that. And for many years, I only ever had one product and service that we were selling. I look at the marketing and running now for TBS. It is so simple compared to what we're doing, because in the past it's like, but you should be running marketing on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and writing blogs and doing podcasts and having Facebook groups and, doing trade events and being at BNI and all these other things. But again, the moment that I got clear of what I wanted and what it was going to take to get there, and I started to compare all these different activities and measure them, I realized that 80% of what I was doing was only getting me 20% of the results, right? And it's this Pareto's principle of 80-20. Yet what I also noticed is that 20% of what I was doing was getting me 80% of the results. I see this with clients all the time. When we go and help them audit their books, 20% of their clients are producing them 80% of their revenue, 80% of their profitability. And 80% of their clients are producing them 20% of their revenue, but are often 80% of their headaches as well, right? Like less is honestly more. If you're running around right now like a chicken with its head cut off, there's a good possibility you're doing a ton more work than you're supposed to do and you should be doing. And you're probably just spending a lot of time spinning your wheels, being an overwhelm, because you're not clear of what the David looks like for you, and you're not cutting away the things that aren't moving you closer to achieve it.
Yeah. And you think about even saying no to that one problem client that is a time suck and a drag energetically and on your business. What could you invest that time in? Time being your most precious resource. What would give you the biggest ROI? And it is simplifying things way back. So such a powerful conversation. I think we've dropped a few gold nuggets in there. I recommend probably listening to this episode again and noticing it, and really start asking yourself some questions like, is what I'm doing right now the highest and best use of my time? Is this simple, and is it scalable? And if not, how else could I do this? What could I remove that is not David? All right. I think that's pretty much it. We'll leave it there. So if you've loved this episode, drop in below, give us a comment, give us a like, share it with someone you know. If you're not yet a member of the Tradies and General Contractors Global free Facebook group, please jump on over and find that. You'll find a link somewhere around here that'll enable you to join that. We have got so many free tools in there. There's so much amazing content that I would love to share with you and for you to have. So jump on over in there. And I suppose that's it for now. And we'll see you, or you'll hear from us on the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Keep it simple, guys. Thanks, Miranda.